بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا كل شيء خلقناه بقدر وما أمرنا إلا واحدة كلمح بالبصر ولقد أهلكنا أشياعكم فهل من مدكر وكل شيء فعلوه في الزبر وكل صغير وكبير مستطر. إن المتقين في جنات ونهر في مقعد صدق عند مليك مقتدر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان. الله العلي العظيم.
محمد وآل محمد صلوات صلی اللہ محمد وآل محمد اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم روی عن جابر بن عبد اللہ الانصاری عن فاطمہ الزہراء علیہ السلام بنت رسول اللہ صلی اللہ علیہ وآلہ انہا قالت دخل علی ابی رسول اللہ فی بعض الایام فقال السلام عليك يا فاطمة فقلت عليك السلام قال إني أجد في بدني زوفا فقلت له أعوذك بالله يا أبتاه من الزوف فقال يا فاطمة ائتني بالكساء اليماني فغطيني به فأتيته بالكساء اليماني فغطيته به وسرت انظر الیہ وإذا وجهه يتلالى كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد وما كان إلا ساعة وإذا بولد الحسن قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أماه فقلت عليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي فقال يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله فقلت نعم إن جدك تحت الكساء فأقبل الحسن نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه يا رسول الله أتأذن لي أن أدخل معك تحت الكساء فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوزي قد أذنت لك فدخل معه تحت الكساء اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد وما كان إلا ساعة وإذا بولد الحسين قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أمه فقلت وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي فقال لي يا أمه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جد رسول الله فقلت نعم إن جدك وأخاك تحت الكساء فدنا الحسين نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جده والسلام عليك يا من اختاره الله أتأذن لي أن أدخل معكما تحت الكساء وقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافع أمتي قد أذنت لك فدخل معهما تحت الكساء صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد فأقبل عند ذلك أبو الحسن علي بن أبي طالب عليه السلام وقال السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله فقلت وعليك السلام يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين فقال يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة أخي وابن أمي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله فقلت نعم ها هو ما ولديك تحت الكساء فأقبل علي نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء قال له عليك السلام يا أخي ويا وسي وخليفتي وصاحب لواء قد أذنت لك فدخل علي عليه السلام تحت الكساء اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد وسلم ثم آتيت نحو الكساء وقلت السلام عليك يا أبتاه يا رسول الله أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء قال وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بزتي قد أذنت لك فدخلت تحت الكساء اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ برسول الله بطرف الكساء وأومأ بيد اليمنى إلى السماء وقال اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وهامتي لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم أنا حرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن سالمهم وعدو لمن عاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم إنهم مني وأنا منهم فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم وأذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. وقال الله عز وجل يا ملائكتي ويا سكان سماواتي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدهية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضية ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا في محبته هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. وقال الأمين وجبريل يا ربي ومن تحت الكساء. وقال عز وجل هم أهل بيت النبوة ماد الرسالة هم فاطمة وأبوها وبالها وبنوها صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. فقال جبريل يا ربي أتأذن لي أن أهبط الأرض ليكون معهم سادسا. وقال الله نعم قد أذنت لك. فهبط الأمين جبريل وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله على الأعلى يقرأ السلام ويخصك بالتحية والإكرام ويقول لك وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدهية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضية ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم وهل تأذن لي يا رسول الله. وقال رسول الله وعليك السلام يا أمين وحي الله إنه نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبريل معنا تحت الكساء. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل. وقال لأبي إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس ويطهركم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. وقال علي لأبي يا رسول الله أخبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني برسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا محبينا إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفر لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي عليه السلام إذن والله فزنا وفاز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. وقال أبي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله يا لي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني برسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا وفيه مهموم إلا وفرج الله هما إلهي آمين ولا مهموم إلا وكشف الله غما إلهي آمين ولا طالب حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجته إلهي آمين. وقال علي عليه السلام إذا والله فزنا وسعدنا وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسلیما. اللہم صل. ایک سورہ فاتحہ برائے جناب مولانا اسد جعفری صاحب قبلہ مرحوم کے لیے. بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم الحمدللہ رب العالمین الرحمن الرحیم مالک یوم الدین ایاک نعبد و ایاک نستعین اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد كذلك اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وأجل فرجه.
بر محمد وآل محمد صلوات. کر رہا ہے یہ راوی بیاں کربلا، اس نے عاشور کی شب کا منظر لکھا، سینہ شاہ پر بنت شاہ عہدہ اور شبیر کہتے تھے یہ بارہا، ہم کو جانا ہے کل کرنے وعدہ وفا، تم پا جائے گا صبر کا مرحلہ، بات ساری سکینہ نے شہ کی سنی، اور جواب وہ بس اتنا کہتی رہی، اچھا بابا سلانے تو آؤ گے نا، روز چہرہ دکھانے تو آؤ گے نا، اچھا بابا سلانے تو آؤ گے نا، روز چہرہ دکھانے تو آؤ گے نا، بولی شبیر اے میری نور نظر، تم کو کرنا ہے اب شام تک کا سفر، تم کو قیدی بنائیں گے اب اہل شر، بولی شہزادے مجھ کو نہیں کوئی ڈر، تم کہاں تم سنانے تو آؤ گے نا، روز چہرہ دکھانے تو آؤ گے نا، اچھا بابا سلانے تو آؤ گے نا، روز چہرہ دکھانے تو آؤ گے نا، شاہ کہنے لگے میری لاڈلی، تم پائے گی اب شام غم کی گری، آگے دامن میں ہوگی تمہارے لگی، بولی وہ فکر مجھ کو نہیں ہے کوئی، میرا دامن بجھانے تو آؤ گے نا، روز چہرہ دکھانے تو آؤ گے نا، اچھا بابا سلانے تو آؤ گے نا، روز چہرہ دکھانے تو آؤ گے نا، بڑھتی جاتی تھی بے چین شبیر کی، ہر ستم وہ اٹھانے پہ راضی ہوئی، زندہ بابا نہ ہوں گے سمجھ نہ سکی، سن کے سب مشکل بس یہ کہتی رہی، گر میں روٹھی منانے تو آؤ گے نا، روز چہرہ دکھانے تو آؤ گے نا، اچھا بابا سلانے تو آؤ گے نا، روز چہرہ دکھانے تو آؤ گے نا، اچھا بابا سلانے تو آؤ گے نا، روز چہرہ دکھانے تو آؤ گے نا، بر محمد وآل محمد صلوات۔
اور محمد والے محمد صلوات۔ سلام کے چند باغ بطول کی وہ بہاریں کدھر گئیں، باغ بطول کی وہ بہاریں کدھر گئیں، شبنم کو انتظار میں صدیاں گزر گئیں، باغ بطول کی وہ تھی درمیاں حسین غریب الوطن کی لاش، تھی درمیاں حسین غریب الوطن کی لاش، فوج سوار ہو کے ادھر سے ادھر گئیں، باغ بطول کی وہ اے گیسوئے رسول کی خوشبو کہاں ہے تو، اے گیسوئے رسول کی خوشبو کہاں ہے تو، نیزے پہ کیوں حسین کی زلفیں بکھر گئیں، نیزے پہ کیوں حسین کی زلفیں بکھر گئیں، اور لاشوں کو رسیوں میں جکڑ کر لیے پھرو، لاشوں کو رسیوں میں جکڑ کر لیے پھرو، سیدانیاں تو گھر سے نکلتے ہی مر گئیں، سیدانیاں تو گھر سے نکلتے ہی مر گئیں، کس منہ سے کر رہے ہو بنات نبی کی بات، کس منہ سے کر رہے ہو بنات نبی کی بات، تھی کس نبی کی بیٹیاں جو در بدر گئیں، اور صغرا کو انتظار ہے اکبر کا اے ذکی، صغرا کو انتظار ہے اکبر کا اے ذکی، اصغر کو رونے والیاں قیدوں میں مر گئیں، اصغر کو رونے والیاں قیدوں میں مر گئیں، باغ بطول کی وہ بہاریں کدھر گئیں. صلوات.
صلوات بھیج دیں. It's so heartbreaking really to imagine that Maulana Asad Jafri is not among us. Oh my God. He has such an impact on each and everyone from child to elderly really. It's a great loss to our community. May Allah elevate his darajat inshallah and place him in Jannah inshallah. Please recite Surah Fatiha and 3 times Surah Ikhlas for his Sal Sawab. Bismillah. Cannot imagine if you will be having a majlis for him. صلوات بھیج.
اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرج.
عصر کا وقت ہے مونس ہے نہ یاور باقی، نہ تو قاسم ہے نہ عباس نہ اکبر باقی، حد یہ ہے اب نہیں 6 ماہ کا اصغر باقی، حیف ہے رہ گئے تنہا میرے سرور باقی، اور سجدے میں اور ستم یہ تہ افلاک ہوا، مومنوں خاتمہ پنجتن پاک ہوا. صلوات بھیج دیں. صلوات بھیج دیں. اور تکبیر کی شہادت کی مناسبت سے ایک سلام. شہنجار رہے ہیں لاشے اکبر پہ یا علی اکبر پہ یا علی شہنجار رہے ہیں لاشے اکبر پہ یا علی اکبر پہ یا علی یہ کیسا وقت آ گیا سرور پہ یا علی سرور پہ یا علی اور کچھ سوجھتا نہیں مجھے ہے میرے نور عین ہے میرے نور عین بولے حسین لاش اکبر پہ یا علی اکبر پہ یا علی اور دنیا سیاہ ہو گئی نظروں میں شاہ کے نظروں میں شاہ کے نیزہ لگا جو سینہ اکبر پہ یا علی اکبر پہ یا علی اور کیوں کر کہوں کہ رخصت اکبر کے بعد سے اکبر کے بعد سے اڑتی تھی خاک خیمہ سرور پہ یا علی سرور پہ یا علی اور پانی کہاں سے لائے جو تربت کو تر کرے تربت کو تر کرے روتے ہیں شاہ تربت اصغر پہ یا علی اصغر پہ یا علی اور زینب تڑپ کے گر پڑی جلتی زمین پر جلتی زمین پر خنجر چلا جو گردن سرور پہ یا علی سرور پر یا علی اور گھر لٹ چکا ہے خاک پر بیٹھی ہیں بیبیاں بیٹھی ہیں بیبیاں ہے سخت وقت زینب مضطر پہ یا علی مضطر پہ یا علی بعد حسین کوفے سے بازار شام تک بازار شام تک دروں کے بار عابد لاغر پہ یالی لاغر پہ یالی شہ جا رہے ہیں لا شہ اکبر پہ یالی اکبر پہ یالی یہ کیسا وقت آ گیا سرور پہ یالی سرور پہ یالی صلوات پہ
جی بالکل
پر محمد وآل محمد صلوات اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرج.
جی ایک سورہ فاتحہ جناب جعفری صاحب کے لیے. جب نوجوان پسر شہیدی سے جدا ہوا روشن قمر سپہرے بری سے جدا ہوا نور نظر امام مبی سے جدا ہوا لخت جگر حسین و حسین سے لخت جگر حسین و حسین سے جدا ہوا دلدار ہو گیا دلے جان بطول کا گھر بے چرا ہو گیا سبت رسول گھر بے چرا ہو گیا سبت رسول کا پیری میں آفت غمیں اولاد علمہ دل اور زخم خنجرے فولاد علمہ اضطراب خاطرے ناشاد علمہ و عشق سوز اور وہ فریاد عشق سوز اور وہ فریاد بیٹا نہ ہو تو عزیز کا پھر کیا مزہ رہا جب گھر اجڑ گیا تو زمانے میں کیا جب گھر اجڑ گیا تو زمانے میں کیا یا مصطفیٰ بلا میں پھنسا ہے تمہارا لال یا شیر ذوالجلال دکھاؤ انہیں جلال یا فاطمہ میں لٹتی ہوں بکھراؤ سر کے بال یا رب الٹ دے آج یہ عرصے یا رب الٹ دے آج یہ سب عرصے پھر کیا کسی سے کام ہے سب سے جدا رہوں بھائی کو اپنے لے کے میں جنگل میں بھائی کو اپنے لے کے میں جنگل میں جا دیکھا یہ کہہ کے بالی سکینہ کو یاد سے لپٹی وہ دوڑ کر شہے گردوں اساس سے طاقت تنسی کلام کی ہر چند پیاس سے بولی وہ تشنہ کام شہے حقشنا بولی وہ تشنہ کام شہے حقشنا کیا اس بلا کے بن سے تہیا سفر کا ہے صدقے گئی بتاؤ ارادہ کدھر صدقے گئی بتاؤ ارادہ کدھر کا ہے جانا ہے دور شب کو جو آنا نہ ہو ادھر ضد کر کے روئیو نا ہمیں چاہتی ہو گر پہلے پہلے آج شب فرقتی پدر سو رہی ہو ماں کی چھاتی پہ گرے بس سو رہی ہو ماں کی چھاتی پہ گرے بس رکھ اور راحت کے دن گزر گئے یہ فصل اور ہے اب یوں بسر کرو جو یتیموں کا دور اب یوں بسر کرو جو یتیموں کا دور ننے سے ہاتھ جوڑ کے بولی وہ تشنہ کام بتلائیے مجھے کہ یتیمی ہے کس کا نام آنکھوں سے خون بہا کے یہ کہنے لگے امام کھل جائے گا یہ درد و علم تم پتہ کھل جائے گا یہ درد و علم تم پتہ اور بی بی نہ پوچھو کچھ یہ مصیبت عظیم ہے مر جائے جس کا باپ و بچہ مر جائے جس کا باپ و بچہ یتیم ہے
Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. I know it's a very difficult day for everyone here. Asad uncle went to Toronto. Ms. Abai went to Toronto. So suggested that I stand up and say a few words. And I know that a few of our youth also wanted to speak. So I'll give the microphone to them. Please bear with us. I know it's a Sunday night. I mean, it's the type of day where our kids look at us and we don't have an answer for them. We don't know what to tell them. And the person for the last 15 to 20 years that we as a community look to for guidance on how to discuss these issues with our kids, he's gone. I don't know where we go from here, to be honest. You know, like, I don't know. I mean, we watched Maulana. I see Mustafa here, I see Hussein here, I see Misam here, I see these guys here. When Maulana first started coming to our community, he was your age. I mean, like, we watched him grow from a young Maulana who was recently married, just having kids and developing as an adult, to one of the, if not the most preeminent alim in the Shia world. You know, like, and he grew up with us every step of the way. And every step of the way, he was dedicated to us. He was dedicated to our kids. And as a Raza mentioned earlier, I mean, he made it a point to always tell us that Baitul Qayem was a special place for him. And that's why, because of the fact that he was here with us every year. And I've watched you guys grow. And I can tell you, when I first met Maulana, he and I are exactly the same age. He might be maybe a year or two older than me. And our relationship was a little bit different than your relationship, obviously, because you guys were his students and you saw him more, you spoke to him more, and you had a more closeness to him than, of course, I had. But then eventually my kids got older. My kids started going to the camps with him. And I've also developed that relationship as, you know, a father who was very grateful to him. And I wish I had an answer for my kids, but I really don't. All I can say is that one thing I noticed is that I spent the whole day going through my WhatsApp groups and reading messages. People are sharing clips of different parts of his majlises that he would say. And we're thankful to have such a reservoir of speeches that he gave us. And I'm going to ask Heather to collect them for us, because I'm sure that we have them. And we'll make it a point to make that available to everyone. But one thing that, it's just how things work, you know, like I was thinking of things that he always mentions, and I see all of the kids are inside right now. I remember one of the things that he always mentions in his speeches and when he talks to the kids is that Majlis starts from the beginning, from Hadith Kisa or Quran recitation, till the end, right? And he would say when he got on the minbar, it was like a bus came and dropped everybody off and he'd walk in. So I had a smile on my face when I turned around and I saw all the kids inside, because, you know, the bus came a little bit early today. And I think that it's one of those things that we can apply to our lives going forward, is that, yes, he's no longer with us, but he taught us a lot in the short time that he was here. And I think having Majlis for him today is probably a good start. And we can keep going forward as best we can. And I know Mutahir Bhai is here. He had a camp planned for January where Maulana Asad Jafri, he was the Maulana for the camp. And I'm sorry to keep rambling on. I know it's like I didn't mean to speak this long, but the one last thing I'll say is that we have been planning camps with Maulana for at least 15 years, maybe longer. When was the first camp you guys had, Mustafa? 2009, right? So for about 15 years, we've been doing camps with him, right? And we would have these groups, and it was fun planning with him. It was fun working with him. And he was our, you know, like you have a star player. He was the captain, the star player. He was the person that, you know, like in any team, the guy that no matter what happened, he was there to clean it up. We would do the best we could, but we knew that as long as he was there, he was our like guaranteed like player, where no matter what we did to plan, if we missed something or we always had him as a backup to fix any mistake that we made or do anything for us. And we're going to move forward and we're going to do the best we can. Is it going to be as good as it was with him? Definitely not. Definitely not. But, you know, like he'd be the first one to tell us that it's our responsibility to carry this forward, and he'd be very disappointed in us if we didn't. So we'll start with the January camp with Arabai. I'm sure we're going to have a plan, and I'm here to help you, and I'm sure everybody here has helped to help you. And let's keep this forward. Let's remember him, and let's do the best we can. Okay. Now I'm going to ask Rayan to please come. I think he had a few words, and then from there, I think Mustafa and Hussein also had some words. Thank you. Rayan. Salawat.
I mean, Maulana Asad Jafri was really a household name for my family as well as many others. I speak for the entire youth community when I say that he really was a role model for all of us. Some of his points mentioned in his lectures and in the summer camp, I still think about them every day. And I can confidently say that he inspired many of us to better ourselves in faith and become strong followers of the Ahlul Bayt. As much of an academic and spiritual role model he was, anyone can agree his presence was uplifting through his humor and joyous personality, which especially captured the hearts of the youth, including myself. His emphasis and connection with many of the youth was truly special. Me and my brother would always anticipate meeting him whenever he would come to New Jersey, and year after year, we couldn't wait for that moment that Maulana walks through the door on the first day of summer camp. It's heartbreaking that we will never experience that again. Memories with him at the summer camp and other events will forever be cherished, and he definitely has made his mark on the community through his life-changing lessons and relationships with each and every one of us. I hope that we can apply many of his teachings in our lives after this devastating news, and hope that Allah grants him the highest of ranks in Jannah for his everlasting legacy on communities across the globe.
Next, I'll hand it to Hussein and Mustafa, and it was Mustafa first. Before I give it to them, though, I just wanted to say that this group of, this age group people are the first group that Maulana worked with. And it's real, I mean, for me, it warms my heart whenever I see them, and they have kids now. And I knew that Maulana would always happy whenever he would come back, and whenever we got to see them, and Shubair, Misam's here, these guys, they were like the first group of kids that Maulana, how old are you now? 32. So you were, when he first started coming, you were how old? Like, you were like 15? 17 years old. I mean, that's how much of an influence he had on these kids. Like, when they're 16, 17 years old, he was, and now look at them.
It's a little bit of a shock to everybody, and I know it's a little bit of a shock to our group. I was scrolling through Instagram and Facebook and seeing just how much of an impact he's had, not just to us, but to everybody in North America, outside of North America. Talking not thousands, but tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of Shias in North America. And he was literally a giant in the Shia field. And I know he means a lot to everybody. And, you know, we're raised in Islam that next to our parents are our teachers. And it's like our parent, even though he would never tell us that it's our parent, he'd always say, no, call me Asad Bhai. Asad Bhai, Asad Bhai. And from every camp from the beginning, since I was 17, I think the biggest thing, if I can say there's one thing that I know he gave all of us, was a sense of identity, especially in Baitul Qayem. And he made that a point, that's why he came back here year after year after year. There are, alhamdulillah, God knows how many Imam Bagas in New Jersey now. But there's a point he made to come back here year after year after year. And, you know, all I'll leave with just this, was just saying that I think one of the last things he said in his last ashra and everything here was the point, and probably even more relevant now, about just having the courage to practice Shia Islam the way we practice Shia Islam. And I think on top of that, just having the sense of identity that he gave all of us, and the sense of identity I know he gave me, I know he gave our group, who were just scrolling through a little bit of the pictures going back and forth from him, you know, bringing us in from the very beginning. We were playing outside. Instead of saying like, hey, why are you guys playing outside? He'd come outside with us. He'd play basketball with us, play volleyball with us, played tennis with us, played ping pong with us. There's not a single thing that he didn't do to become a part of our community. And now I think I know he's in the best possible place. I think the most important thing, outside of what I know our community is capable of doing, is sustaining that momentum, as we talked about. He built that momentum, and I think it's about sustaining that. Inshallah, about supporting his family that he's leaving behind, 3 young children. And I know he'll be taken care of, but our part in doing that same thing too, inshallah. That's all I have. I just want to say, and it's been, amazing seeing the community grow. And inshallah, we will continue to see the community grow from here.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I would like to resonate what everybody else has said so far. I mean, it's a really hard thing to talk about, and I don't think any of us were expecting to be here in this position, but we're here to commemorate a really great personality, someone who's touched us all in some way, shape, or form over the last 15, 20 years. And I think first and foremost, when I was trying to think about what I want to say, is I think the first reality that came to mind is that I don't think I'm worthy of really be able to talk about such a person at his majlis, right? I think I know that for sure. I'm not worthy of it, but I find myself in this position, so I'm gonna say a few words, if you can bear with me. Maulana Asad had a very unique way of connecting with people in a way that everyone kind of felt like they had a strong connection with him. Like, we can all agree that, I felt like I was a friend of his, or a brother of his, or a mentor he was to me, or a teacher he was to me. And how could one person have a strong bond with so many people in a community? I mean, he just had that as part of his personality. He made you feel like he was your friend. He made you feel like you could just call him Asad Bhai. You didn't have to call him Maulana Asad. And we all felt that connection. He made you feel valued. What that did is it made you want to spend more time with him. Every time that he would leave after the ashura, for the camp, or the weekend Majlis series, he wanted, we're still craving for more time with him. We lost a friend, we lost a brother, a mentor, a teacher, and obviously an alim who's absolutely irreplaceable in our community. He started coming here in 2010, as far as I can remember. And he and at that point, there was really no youth presence. The organized youth presence didn't exist at the time. And he cultivated the inspiration and the momentum for what was to come in the years ahead. And as the years went by, our whole community, especially the youth, really collectively grew up with him. We all felt like we grew up with him as he grew, as well as an alim. I remember the BQ summer camps, his weekend majalises here, his ashra lectures. We all also remember during COVID, he did the virtual series with us. So I remember being home and watching that. So he was committed to us as a community in the speaking capacity for sure, but what was also really interesting is behind the scenes, a lot of us didn't know that he was committed to the community in their personal lives as well. This past Muharram, I was talking to him and I said to him, I was trying to find a time in the weekend for the guys to hang out with him. And he was like, Hussein, I'm literally, from the time that I land in Philly to the time that I get back on the flight, I'm booked. And I said, well, I know about the 2 house majlises and the 3 night majlises at BQ, but what about in the middle? Like, we can do something. And he was like, between the house majlises, either before or after and before BQ, I am committed to someone's house to discuss a personal matter. And I'm sure some of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, because we as any community find ourselves in situations where we need help from an alim, and he was there, so he knew that if he was going to be here from Friday to Sunday night, he would find time, like, okay, I'm going to be here on Sunday morning and then here Saturday morning, and I'm going to help that person out because I know he's going through something. And if you know exactly what I'm talking about, you know how valuable that can be to someone when you're in need of that. So he wasn't just a speaker, right? He was way more than that. I talked to him also about his new position at the Masumeen School in Toronto. in the last year had taken up a new position where he was the principal of the school now. So he had transitioned from basically just traveling to speak to now being a Monday through Friday teacher and principal, somebody who was running an Islamic school. And that comes with a whole set of new responsibilities. And I asked him, like, how do you like that? How's that coming along? And he said, I love it. You know, I love going into school every day. I've got kids who are eager to learn. They're curious. They've got so much energy, and I really, really enjoy that. So I thought that was telling about kind of like what he was all about. And I felt like he was really happy in this role. He said, I can't really travel for Ramadan anymore because I got to be Monday through Friday at school. But I can do Muharram, weekend lectures. And of course, I can't talk about Maulana Asad without talking about his sense of humor. I mean, we all are very familiar with how he can make a 4 or 5-year-old kid laugh, but he could also make some of the gentlemen that are sitting in the back on those seats laugh too, just as well. He was this big 6'4" guy with a very kind of a giant build to him that was kind of at times a little scary, but he was a softie at heart. There was no doubt about that. I remember one time I wanted to get him a drink, but I didn't know if he was going to be okay with a regular coffee, or like a hot coffee or something cold, so I got him a lavender lemonade, which was as girly of a drink you could get somebody, especially a Maulana. And I had the coffee for him, and I was like, Maulana, I don't know if you want hot or cold, but I just got you both. And he went for the lavender lemonade. And then he ended up really liking it. He said, but you can't tell anybody that I like the lavender lemonade. He also, and I'm just finishing up, but he said, I remember every time he would come here, he would start his lecture series by talking about how he's not sure if he would be back the next time we would invite him. You know, he always say, like, this is the Muharram, I'm here right now. I don't know if I'll have the chance to be back here again. I know we talked about how he would potentially be here for the Ashra next year. And that really hits so deeply now. It really hits home because this is the reality. And so time is fleeting. I went to his Instagram page, and his main caption on his Instagram page is, quote, "We are a work in progress. The day we stop working towards our perfection is the day we stop growing." So if there's something that I would like to take home for myself from today is just knowing that nothing is guaranteed, and yeah, we're not perfect, but we got to keep striving. Make sure we're striving for excellence in our careers, but also spiritually. I mean, he wasn't just spiritual. He said, go after your careers too. Do everything you can to be the best at what you do, because you can make an impact that way as well. And I think that's the thing, just making sure we're doing something towards making an impact and something that's meaningful. I just want to thank you for your attention, and my sincerest condolences to the whole community, and obviously to his family. And Fatiha.
محمد وآل محمد صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل.
Please recite Surah Fatiha followed by 3 times Surah Tawheed, and send the sawab to the ruh of Maulana Asad Jafri. Fatiha.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا وشفيعنا بالقاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد الطيبين الطاهرين الغر الميامين المعصومين واللعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من يومنا هذا إلى يوم الدين أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه وتبارك وتعالى في كتابه المبين وهو أصدق الصادقين وقوله الحق بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر صلوات پڑھیے محمد والے I am not prepared for this, but let's take you back a few months ago. I was here sitting somewhere in the second or third chair. And the discussion was, if you remember, how to have focus in your salat. He was talking about Imam Khomeini's work, that is like a bird jumping from one branch to the other to the next one, and try to hold that bird in your hand and try to have khuzu and khushu. Start it from the beginning, maybe you will have until your first surah, Alhamd, and as you will keep on practicing, maybe you will have more and more focus in your salat. A man who can relate this world so beautifully with your religion that religion becomes a fun for you. It's not a burden. You start enjoying it. That's what he made. A man who can have multiple relationships with so many people from different age groups, that you would feel like that he is the focus of attention and he is more closer to me than anybody else. A man who had the patience to deal with 4 or 5-year-old child versus 55 and 80 years old man. Equally paying attention to everybody, making everything so easy and convenient for everyone to have an access, ask questions, personal problems. You have a solution with Asad Bhai. One-stop shop. We lost it, unfortunately. I had not a very long interaction with him because of my own life, that I am busy and he is busy. We casually met most of the time and just short duration. But he was so good in remembering the name, not only my name, all of my children's name. Their ages, where they are, what they are doing, how they are, how is Ali, how is Haidar, and all so on and so forth. He knew everything. There is a lesson here. Yes, we lost. He's not going to return. The lesson is that your life can be similar to him. Learn from this. We say that every death is an ibrat.
A good death is ibrat, a bad death is ibrat. If a bad person leaves from this country, from this world, you know that we have to be not like him. But if a good person goes, there is a chance that we can do something. Maybe not to the extent that he was, but at least we can try our best. So the best thing that you can do for him, besides your Quran and your tilawat and your du'as and your salat and isal sawab and all of that, the best thing you can do is to follow what he said. You will not find your imams, you will not find your masumeens, you will not find pious ulamas, you will not find sincere people. But this person was so clear and so illuminating that you can learn from him and relate that if this person was like that, how our imams were, how the masumeens were. A humble servant can do so much. So think about our Maraje, think about our Masumeen, think about Rasulullah, and if they are so good, think about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Salawat Muhammad wa ala. He was very, very, nice every time when you meet him. How are you doing? What's going on? Which class you are? What you're doing? What's your career? So on and so forth. So he's not just asking you question about religion, where you are stuck. He is talking about your identity. He is talking about one ummah, that we created one ummah. Kuntu khairan ummatan. Ek khair ummat banai thi Allah ne. He is talking about your own struggle with the religion, the peer pressures, the pressure of the society, and how to deal with that. Nobody is addressing that. You have very good speakers. And I remember, initially in the 90s, there was a big struggle in this state for the Urdu Majlis or English Majlis. And there was a struggle for many months, many years, that people were not agreeing to have English Majlis. Once there was an agreement, the other dilemma that came in to play, and that dilemma was, most of the speakers were not English speakers. Initially, when the English speech was given, it was more like a story, nothing to address the nagging issues that we have in our life. He addressed hijab, he addressed your beard, he addressed how to live, he addressed many those issues that you are facing in the society today. So the loss is enormous. And there is no one who can fill this gap. No one, in my opinion. There are good speakers, no doubt. They are very good. He focused less on speaking than addressing these issues, and that was very important. And you may say that, there are people who are very knowledgeable. But as a speaker, I know if I have to give 4 speeches a day, I have to prepare a lot. And he was able to do that. So he was in Baitul Qayem, but at the same time he was reciting in 3 different places in this area, and even also addressing the issues that you are talking about. And he was interacting everybody without any problem. That is the level of education and the knowledge that he had. And it just came not from him. It was a mercy of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Without that, it is not possible. You cannot do it. So that's the magnanimity of his personality. That will have an impact on us. But one brother said here that they will take care of the family. Trust me, we start forgetting after 6 months. We start forgetting after 6 years. So you should have, all of you, at least the youngsters, make sure that you memorize him by have a remembrance for him by doing good deeds for him every year. Maybe October 28th is the day when we remember him. Because he left an impact not on you, but others also, new generation. So we should all remember him, that he made such a great impact on us. Quran and Majid says that by the time, Allah is saying that he is swearing by the time. Innal insana lafi khusr. That verily all the humanity is in loss. Which is a big declaration, that he created everybody and then put them in loss. What is the point to create them? When everybody is in loss, your creation is in loss, why Allah you created these people then? To put them in loss? Nobody likes loss. You ask an accountant, he will say, no, P&L is not matching, general ledger is not matching, you're wrong, we are in loss. You ask a company CEO, he will say, oh yes, our profit is not there, we are in loss. Will you invest in that company? No. So Allah says that the whole humanity is in loss. It's a big declaration. So who is in profit then? Loss means your principle that you have used for your business is gone. So part of it is gone. You are not making money, you are losing. It's a losing business. So if a losing business, why Allah created? First question. Allah is all-knowing, intelligent, He knows everything. But the answer is right here, that إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمَلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. Besides those who have faith in Allah, and faith is not enough. You have to do the amal-e salih, good deed. And then after that, enjoin on the haqq and the sabr. That's when you come out of loss and you are in the profit direction. Now, I am just focusing on amal-e salih for a few minutes. Amal-e salih. What is amal-e salih? Good deed. So good deed is also done by kafir, non-believers. They do good deeds. How about Mother Teresa? How about those who invented medicine, different kind of medicine, saved so many lives? How many examples. People have hospitals, people have philanthropic projects, and a lot of things they have done. It is a good deed. They're saving lives. They are opening educational institutions and whatnot. So are they doing good things? Yes, it's good deed. But good deed is not sufficient unless you have iman. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا and then amalu salihat. So if you have iman and then amal salih, then it's acceptable. But let's say if I do a good deed, I built a mosque. My own savings, I built a mosque. One good deed I did, I built a mosque. Can this good deed be multiplied? The question is that if I am not in loss, then I'm in profit. How much? 10%, 15%, 20% profit is a big, good investment. Everybody would like that. If you put in money and then you get 20% return from that, good ROI, love it. But in this case, how much? If I built a mosque, how much I can gain? So one good deed, I will get the benefit, sawab of that is one sawab. Allah says, I will give you 10 times. Because it's a good deed, I will multiply it by 10. That's in Quran. But after 10, it stops? No. Any time that good deed is beneficial to other people, my sawab is multiplied. So anybody who comes in that mosque and offers prayer, I get the sawab. Anybody who comes and does the tilawat, I get the sawab. Anybody who comes in this mosque, remembers Allah, I get the sawab. Anytime anybody comes in the mosque, does the majlis, I get the sawab. And so on, so on, so on, so on. Now think about Asad Bhai. One good deed with you but this is going to multiply in your generations if you are guided. If you got the guidance from him, if you got the affection and love from him, if you understood the religion because of him, if you love your religion because of him, his benefit is multifold, exponentially increased. So Amal Saleh is not, just one time effort. It's continuous and it is exponential. That's what Asad Bhai has done to us. So like I said, we may think that 6 months from now, oh, he passed away, we're very sorry, he was very nice alim, he was a very good friend, he was a good player, he played basketball very well, and so on and so forth. But the impact is for generations. And that is why it is important that we keep remembering what we learn. I can tell you, my kids say, my sons say, I learned more from these summer camps in Baitul Qayem than my Sunday school. Right there, you see that there is a difference. In 3, 4, 5 days, he taught so much that it was better than going to Sunday school for a whole year. That's the difference that Asad Bhai had made in our life. And that is why I, you, and everybody will pray for him. But rest assured that if he has impacted you that much, Ahlul Bayt are very happy by his deeds, and they will give even more than what he deserves. Salawat Muhammad. Now the question is how to explain my sons and daughters, right? You asked the question. This is also difficult. How you can explain? But Asad Bhai also gave you the answers. And one of the answer is that we have Karbala at the center. In Karbala, 4-year-old daughter of Imam Hussain did not ask for a reason. Imam Hussain was able to explain her what's happening. She was so aware that she never asked her father that, oh, my father, now that we are 3 days thirsty and hungry, why don't you do bayat? No. We never hear in any maqtal that she said that, we should now compromise, we should do this. Today in the world, the difference of Karbala is so obvious that you will never find anywhere. Those who followed Karbala, they learned the lesson from Imam Hussain that life of dignity is important. Life of humiliation is not the life. And that is you are seeing in this world. Muslims are totally humiliated. Only followers of Imam Hussain are living the life of dignity. Whatever is happening in this world is because the Muslim world don't know the difference between Yazid and Imam Hussain. Those who learn from Imam Hussain, they don't go on the basis of numerical superiority. They know that we will be killed, but we will be killed with dignity. We will not live with humiliation. We are seeing that happening in front of us. Only who are standing up, if you look at them, you will find that their center and their faith is Imam Hussain and Karbala. Of course, that area is totally surrounded by those people. That's going on. But those who are outside, only one who are helping, only one who are supporting are the followers of Imam Hussain alayhi salam and the followers of Karbala. If you keep Karbala at your center of faith, you will never be humiliated. You will die There is no guarantee, but nobody will be able to kill you, because you will be shaheed and you will be alive forever. Salawat Muhammad. Because that is the main problem. You might ask that, no, why this country is not speaking, why this country is not doing this, why this ruler is not doing anything. The problem is there, they have affinity to Yazid. They don't have love of Imam Hussain. Once they realize what is Karbala and what a dignified life Imam Hussain lived, then they realize that there is nothing good in this world until we please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by our life or without our life. And those are the people who are successful. Everywhere in the history, you can open the pages of history and learn from that. Every revolution which is based on sincerity is based on Karbala's revolution. Those who were revolting in India in 1857 and got the freedom in 1947, their leaders, they openly said that it is because of Karbala that we were successful. The moment these guys will start saying that, all the thirst, hunger, and every problem will be solved, because Karbala is in their faith. They love Karbala and they can sacrifice. The ultimate sacrifice of life, but that sacrifice is for this dunya. Allah will give them a life forever, which will be full of bliss and which will be full of bounties and rahmat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Salawat. So we are, of course, our heart is broken. We are devastated. Basically, we are devastated. We may smile, but the smile is incomplete without Asad Bhai. We may say that, we will do sabr, we will do patience, we will do whatever we can, but nobody can fill his place in our life. He was so loved by all of us. And he loved us so much. What is the relationship between Baitul Qayem and Toronto? No. Not a significant one. How many times he used to come here in a year? Maybe a couple of times. How many days he spent here? 4, 5, 6, 7 days. Such an impact, such a difference he made. That is where we have to learn. That if he can make a difference, then our meeting for 5 minutes should make a difference between us. We should love each other, we should have an impact similar to what Asad Bhai used to have. Then we have the real community that Asad Bhai wanted to build. And carry his message to the next generation so that that message is not lost, but is still surviving, and we are happy with that. And we continue with that message. That is the real homage to such a great person whom we lost today. Tomorrow he will be buried. Tomorrow, one of my friends just called me right before I was reciting Quran, he called me. He said he is driving right now to Toronto to attend his funeral. Think about it. From here to Toronto is about what? 600, 700 miles? It's about 10 hours, 12 hours from here. Somebody is traveling from here just to attend the funeral. Hi, Asad Bhai. Whole Toronto will join. You are so loved by everybody that you will be missed at every point. And I'm sure your family is more than us in pain, because 5 days, 6 days, 10 days, 15 days that we had interaction with him. Think about the daughters, think about his son, think about his wife, think about his parent, his mother is still alive. How much they are paying right now. But after all, you will get the qabr. After all, peacefully you will be buried, Asad Bhai. After all, you will sleep in the qabr. After all, Ali ibn Abi Talib will come and welcome you. After all, Abul Fadl Abbas will come and welcome you. Oh, Asad bhai, yes, everything will happen. Very honorably, you will be paid. مگر کیا کریں اسد بھائی, آپ جس کا ماتم کرتے تھے, آپ تو دفن ہو گئے, وہ دفن بھی نہ ہو سکا. اے اسد بھائی, آپ کے لیے اتنا بڑا مجمع آئے گا اور آپ کو دفن کر دے گا. یہاں سے لوگ جا رہے ہیں دفن میں شرکت کے لیے. اسد بھائی, وہاں تو ایک بہن تھی جو بھائی کا لاشا دیکھتی تھی, اور اتنا لاشا بدل گیا کہ جب بہن لاشے پہ آئی تو کہتی آنتاخی, ارے یہ میرا بھائی ہے. اسد بھائی, ہاں آپ کی موت ہمارے لیے بڑا درد ہے, اس کا ہمیں رہے گا, لیکن اسد بھائی ذرا سوچئے, اور یہ ہر مومن کے لیے ہے کہ ہر مومن کو کہیں نہ کہیں دفن کر دیا جاتا ہے. ہائے رے حسین کا لاشا. اب مجھے سمجھ میں آیا کہ رسول کیوں کہتے تھے لحموں کا لحمی و دموں کا دمی. ارے اس کا گوشت میرا گوشت ہے, اس کا خون میرا خون ہے. حسین شاید اسی حسین کے لیے یاد دلا رہے تھے رسول کہ حسین کا جسم اس کیفیت میں ہوگا کہ دیکھنا یہی میرا گوشت اور یہی میرا خون ہوگا, کربلا میں کیسے ایسے پامال کر دیا جائے گا. چنانچہ عزیزو, آپ نے تو سنا ہے کہ عصر عاشور ایک مرتبہ جب اعلان ہوا کہ لاشوں کو پامال کر دیا جائے, اب میں نہیں بتا سکتا کہ کیا گزری ہوگی. کاش میں ہوتا وہاں بتا سکتا. ارے زینب کے دل سے پوچھئے. آ کر فضہ نے کہا شہزادی غضب ہو گیا, ان لعینوں نے طے کیا ہے کہ آپ کے بھائی کے لاشوں کو پامال کر دیں گے. بس یہ سننا تھا کہ ذرا زینب سے پوچھئے کیا گزری ہوگی. بھائی کا لاشا پامال کیا جائے اور بہن دیکھ لے, یہ کیسے ممکن ہو سکتا تھا. لہٰذا بہن نے دعائیں کرنی شروع کی ہوں گی, بہن نے آوازیں بلند کی ہوں گی, گریہ کیا ہوگا, کیا کیا نہ کیا ہوگا. لیکن ذرا سوچئے اس بہن پر کیا گزری ہوگی جب ایک طرف سے گھوڑوں نے دوڑنا شروع کیا ہوگا اور زینب نے دیکھا ہوگا کہ بھائی کا لاشا ہے اور اس پر گھوڑے دوڑائے جا رہے ہیں. یہی نہیں ہے, روایتوں میں ملتا ہے, آپ نے سنا ہوگا کہ کچھ جیسے آوازیں آتی تھیں جیسے کچھ چیزیں ٹوٹ رہی ہوں. کسی نے پوچھا یہ آوازیں کیسی ہیں؟ کہا یہ حسین کے لاشے پر چلنے والے گھوڑوں کی وجہ سے حسین کی پسلیوں کے ٹوٹنے کی آوازیں ہیں. اللہ اکبر, حسین کا لاشا اتنا پامال کر دیا گیا. لیکن آپ نے حسین کے لاشے کے بارے میں سنا ہے, آپ نے سنا ہے کہ کسی اور شہید کا لاشا پامال کیا گیا ہو. مورخین نے لکھا, محققین نے تحقیق کی اور انہوں نے بتایا کہ تقریباً سارے لاشیں بچا لیے گئے, لیکن ان کا کہنا ہے کہ کم از کم شاید 3 ایسے لاشیں تھے جو یقیناً جن کے اوپر گھوڑے دوڑائے گئے. حر کا لاشا حر کے قبیلے والے لے گئے, حبیب کا لاشا حبیب کے قبیلے والے لے گئے. ہر ایک کا کوئی نہ کوئی قبیلے اور رشتہ دار نکلتا تھا جو ایک ایک لاش کو لے جاتا تھا, کس لیے کہ ہمارا عزیز ہے, ہمارا چاہنے والا ہے, ہمارے خاندان کا ہے, ہمارے قبیلے کا ہے, اس پر کوئی گھوڑے نہیں دوڑا سکتا. کسی بھی قبیلے کے لیے بڑی بے عزتی کی بات ہوتی تھی کہ اس کے لاشے کے اوپر گھوڑوں کو دوڑا دیا جائے. لیکن ہائے رے حسین, جن کے بارے میں حسین کے بارے میں بھی ملتا ہے. اور پھر اس کے بعد مورخین نے جانتے ہیں کیا لکھا ہے. مورخین لکھتے ہیں کہ 2 اور لاشیں تھے جو شاید حسین کی لاش کے ساتھ جن کے اوپر گھوڑے دوڑائے گئے. کون کون تھے وہ؟ ایک جناب قاسم کا لاشا کہ جس کا باپ نہ تھا, حسن موجود نہ تھے, اور ایک علی اصغر کا لاشا. کون علی اصغر؟ ارے جس کی لاش کو دفن کر دیا تھا حسین نے, 6 مہینے کا بچہ, حسین کے ساتھ اس کو بھی گھوڑوں کی پامالی کا شکار بنا دیا. اللہ لعنت اللہ علی قوم الظالمین. وَسَيَعْلَمُ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا أَيَّ مُنْقَلِبٍ يَنْقَلِبُونَ إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ. پروردگار ہماری اس مختصر سی عبادت کو قبول فرما. پروردگار ہمارے دل شکستہ ہیں, ہم غمزدہ ہیں. پروردگار ہمارا چاہنے والا ہمارا ہدایت دینے والا، محبت کرنے والا، ہم کو علم دینے والا، ذکر اہل بیت کرنے والا اور نہ جانے کتنی نیکیاں کرنے والا ایک انسان ہمارے درمیان سے چلا گیا۔ پالنے والے ان کے درجات کو بلند فرما، ان کے تمام معصیتوں کو معاف فرما، ان کے خاندان کو صبر جمیل عطا فرما، ان کے چاہنے والوں کو صبر عطا فرما۔ پالنے والے جوار ائمہ معصومین میں ان کو جگہ دے۔ پروردگار ابو الفضل عباس ان کی استقبال کے لیے آئیں۔ پالنے والے قبر کی منازل، حساب اور میزان اور قیامت کی تمام منازل ان کے لیے آسان فرما۔ پروردگار انہوں نے جو ان بچوں کو اور ہم کو سکھایا ہے اس پر عمل کرنے کی توفیق عطا فرما۔ پروردگار ان کی والدہ کو صبر جمیل عطا فرما، ان کے اہل خانہ کو صبر جمیل عطا فرما۔ پروردگار ہم سب کو قلعہ ولایہ محمد و آل محمد و جگہ عطا فرما، مقامات مقدسہ کی حفاظت فرما، اور جن لوگوں نے حفاظت کی ان کی حفاظت فرما۔ دنیا میں جہاں جہاں ظلم ہو رہا ہے وہاں ظالمین کو نیست و نابود کر دے، مستضعفین کو اور بے گناہ لوگوں کو بچا لے۔ ایک ایک منزل پر جہاں جہاں مجاہدین جنگ کر رہے ہیں ان کو کامیابی دے، اور ان کے دشمنوں کے جتنے بھی منصوبے ہیں ان کو نیست و نابود کر دے۔ پالنے والے جنہوں نے ظلم کا ساتھ دیا ہے ان کے اوپر بھی تو اپنا عذاب نازل فرما۔ پروردگار لعنت بھیجتے ہیں ہم ان کے اوپر جنہوں نے بے گناہ لوگوں کے اوپر ظلم کیا ہے، اور ہم دعا کرتے ہیں تجھ سے کہ قائم آل محمد کا ظہور فرما تاکہ ان کے ظہور سے دنیا میں عدل و انصاف قائم ہو جائے۔ ربنا تقبل منا انک انت السمیع العلیم۔ ایک مرتبہ سورہ الحمد اور 3 مرتبہ سورہ توحید کی تلاوت کر کے ہدیہ کر دیجئے جناب اسد جعفری صاحب اور تمام علماء اسلام، علماء دین، محبان اہل بیت، تمام شہداء اور تمام وہ مظلومین جو اس دنیا سے گئے ہیں ان سب کی خدمت میں۔ بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم۔
غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر، غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر، غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر، غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر، غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر، غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر، غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر، غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر، غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر، غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر، مہات ملتی رہ گئی، مہات ملتی رہ گئی اکبر کی لاش پر، غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر، غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر، غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر، مہات ملتی رہ گئی اکبر کی لاش پر غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر کس جا گرا ہے تو میری زینب کا نور ہے زینب کا نور ہے بینا عشاء کی نہ رہی بینا عشاء کی نہ رہی اکبر کی لاش پر غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر وہ جو تڑپتی رہ گئی ماں سننے کے لیے ماں سننے کے لیے پہنچے نہ خدا کبھی پہنچے نہ خدا کبھی اکبر کی لاش پر غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر سینے کو جب حسین نے زانوں پہ رکھ دیا زانوں پہ رکھ دیا روتی رہی وہ برچی بھی روتی رہی وہ برچی بھی اکبر کی لاش پر غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر مہات ملتی رہ گئی مہات ملتی رہ گئی اکبر کی لاش پر غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر ہنس ہنس کے مارتا تھا تماچے وہ اس لیے تماچے وہ اس لیے مر جائے یہ حسین بھی مر جائے یہ حسین بھی اکبر کی لاش پر غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر کس جا گرا ہے تو میری زینب کا نور ہے زینب کا نور ہے بینا عشاء کی نہ رہی بینا عشاء کی نہ رہی اکبر کی لاش پر غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر مہات ملتی رہ گئی مہات ملتی رہ گئی اکبر کی لاش پر غربت تڑپ کے رو پڑی اکبر کی لاش پر
صلی اللہ علیہ یا رسول اللہ، السلام علیکہ یا رسول اللہ، السلام علیکہ یا امیر المومنین، السلام علیکی یا فاطمۃ الزہراء سیدۃ النساء العالمین، السلام علیکہ یا ایھا الحسن المجتبی، السلام علیکہ یا خدیجۃ الکبریٰ، السلام علیکہ یا ابا عبد اللہ والارواح التی حلت بفنائک، علیک منی سلام اللہ ابدا ما بقیت وبقی اللیل والنہار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم، السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين، السلام علیکم جميعا شہداء کربلا واسیران کربلا ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ، السلام علیکم ائمۃ التسعۃ الطاہرین من ذریۃ الحسین علیہم السلام، علی ابن الحسین زین العابدین و محمد ابن علی الباقر و